Greetings and welcome to In-Depth. I'm Dike Rostant. Now, on many occasions, we can better appreciate someone's testimony because of the trials that they would have gone through. One such person is multiple nominee and award-winning gospel artist Sterling Roberts. Mr. Roberts, how do you do, sir?
Wow, thanks so much, Mr. Rostant, for having me. It's an honor, man. I'm doing well. I hope you're doing good too.
Yeah, man, and I'm talking to people who well blessed and highly favored. So giving thanks and congratulations as well. But
Wow.
and I want to start off though, even before we start to talk about nominations, awards, who rock
Mhm.
solid, who giving all, who on solid ground. Take me back to Sterling at 8 years old. What was
Mm.
going on with you, and why were parents, guardians, people around you a bit concerned?
Oh, wow. That was a very traumatic time. It was in a season where a lot of my family members went to the hospital at least once, and I was looking as the healthiest child out of the set. They decided to do a random test, and and the doctors literally said verbatim that he's worse than everybody else. He has a heart of somebody who is over the age of 80 years old, and it also had a hole in it, and it was also skipping beats. And that was a real traumatic time. Um, so doctors couldn't tell what caused that situation, so they gave every medication possible. None worked, it just made things worse. One particular night, my heart rate went over 144 beats a minute. And, by the grace of God, that I didn't die of a heart attack. Um, the second to last time we went to the doctor, my mom actually heard a voice said to her, "It's time to turn to me." And the doctors literally said, "We have nothing natural to do." So we went to church. Everybody prayed for us. We went back to the doctors not too long after, and the doctors did every test possible and realized that my heart became younger than the 8-year-old boy.
No, going through that,
Yeah.
journeying through that, does that put you on the straight and narrow one time? You still have things to do to find yourself because this is before double digits, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
But what's going through your mind if you can remember? Because from
Mm.
my part, me young, little hazy bad. But looking and seeing what these adults are talking about, what it is
Mm.
the people around you, the people in church, when
Mhm.
sometimes you see people talking or whispering, and when you enter the room, then the talk
Mm.
just stop, and you have an idea, okay, well, they're talking about me. But what's going through your mind when you're hearing all these things and people telling your mom, giving her this information? What are you thinking?
Well, to be honest, at 8 years old, I knew about being in hospitals with other family members. So at least I had an inkling of how traumatic a situation would have added to all the stress with them. But still, as you just said, I was 8 years old. It wasn't something that was in the front burner of my mind. Only until after the healing took place. And as you just asked, what did that do for me? I was still, nonchalant, being 8 years old. I wasn't double digits, and just continued living life, but with a knowledge of something happened to me significantly at that age of 8.
And going further in terms of like coming into yourself,
Mhm.
becoming a teenager, um, building your level of reasoning, do you tell yourself, okay, well, I here for something? Or let me ask that question differently. When did it hit you saying definitely, or for the grace of God, I wouldn't
Mhm.
be here? When
Yeah.
did that information, that understanding or those veil drop from your eyes?
I knew that there was a God one. I knew that there was something more that I had to do because of coming out of a situation. I think when I woke up to the realization of how serious it was later in my teens, later up in teens, like around the age of 19, where I also escaped some very troublesome situations where I would go to parties and my life was literally at risk, just being at the wrong place, wrong time. All of a sudden gang members would just be there and me, little one in between, a whole set of craziness. But I realized that even in doing stuff in life and understanding what I was healed from, I had this sense and this awareness of there was more than what I was living for. There was more to it than just, just going through life. And at age 19, after, experiencing those things, and, all of a sudden these talents started coming, but more so being protected, is when I woke up to the realization it has to be more than this. And that's when I think I woke up somewhere around age 18, 19.
Is that part of the reason why your stated intention is to be a bridge? Because
Yeah,
sometimes it seems as though um, we learn by our experiences, but at the same time, we're also able to learn by the experiences of others. So,
yeah.
so your music being a bridge, your testimony being a bridge. So take
Hmm.
us through that. So when was this a stated intention?
Wow, that's a real good question. So the bridge aspect is very important to me because of the same thing that you just listed. From the experiences I've had and realizing that when these talents started to come in, I didn't even realize that I was going to head into music. This came through a talent show where we were just doing normal, in the times of boy groups and all these things happening. And I realized that even in doing these performances, people were impacted, and I wasn't even doing it for the sake of, for my Lord, and doing it for doing it for God. I was just doing it, and people were impacted. And then I kind of put the two pieces together like a puzzle and realized it's like, this feels like I have to do this. I have to utilize this skill set to be a bridge to carry people from the experiences, whether if it be worse than mine, similar to mine, over to option to change so that they don't have to stay where they are. And that really started to piece together when I started to learn. And even up to this day, I'm still learning with all what has taken place. Um, that I'm literally a bridge, a vessel to be used by the Father to bring people from one stage to the next. Yeah, so that's when I realized that for sure.
Mr. Sterling, people are vexed with you when you tell them, it kind of just happen. Because that's what it's feeling like,
You
people
feel
who
like it just happened.
had
Yeah.
from however long, 19 how long they want to be artists,
Yeah.
and for whatever reason. But it feels
Hmm.
as though you just kind of stumble and reach into it.
Nah, actually, that wasn't the case at all. I think when I started to wake up and realize that there was something more, I was started to be in like God started to streamline me. I was starting to ask God, is like, here's what. It feels like I'm here for more. And I want to learn what it is I'm here for. And then all of a sudden, dreams started to happen. Songs started I get inspired different ways through dreams, through life experiences, mostly through dreams and supernatural stuff like that. And then, boom, there was a song festival in 2002. I wrote a song. That time it was an annual festival. I, with no proper vocal training, nothing yet of the sort, ended up now winning the 2002 11th annual local full gospel song festival. Up to now, people have been kicking off on me and saying the only thing that I didn't win was best female vocalist. And so things like that, it didn't just happen because now I'm starting to think I haven't gone through proper vocal, training. I haven't started to do these things on a regime, and yet all these things are starting to happen. And these things are like little stones, little steps that head towards something. These things didn't just happen as people may think, but these things happen through life experiences. These things happen with me saying yes to going away from a path that I used to walk, to doing what I believe the Lord was leading me to now. And that took times of growth, times of being aware, times of being shaped by people to tell, people telling me, go this way, don't go that way, you're doing this wrong. And so me being here with all what's taken place is nothing short of a journey that still is happening.
Yeah, because the journey doesn't finish, and many times when you think that the journey is finished, that is bad business. So in terms
Yeah,
of like you talking about taking that one rock, that one step, we're gonna have a
yeah.
little bit of rock solid, go to break, and then come back with more. We are speaking with Sterling Roberts. Stay with us. We return with more.
Rock solid mountain. Jesus, you are. Jesus, you are. Jesus, you are. Solid. You are the rock. and nothing can move him. This is my response. Lord, anything they are, anything else. This is my total worship. Lord, anything they are.
Welcome back. We are having a conversation with gospel artist Sterling Roberts, talking about his music, talking about his testimony, and talking about his stated intention, being used as a vessel to give praise, to uplift, to be a bridge. And do you have a way that you describe? No, yes, you have the intention to be a bridge, but do you have a way that you describe your music?
That's so cool you asked that. It's always something on my mind too. I call it in edgy, intimate, intense, or intense, intimate. It's like it's a soulful yet spiritual type of music that relates to you, but it goes further than just your natural, your feelings. Because we know music, we love to feel music, we love how music feels to us. But for me, music becomes like the bait for me. It's like you love how it sounds, you love the composition, you love the actual genre, however it's packaged. But then it makes you start to think, and it hits you differently. It hits you in the core of your heart because it's written from a spot of conviction. And it's not just for you to just love the music, but it is for any time. It's not a seasonal. I believe that's the music that I have. It's not just seasonal. It's
And that,
eternal, I feel.
and I give thanks for that. It actually reminds me of the Ashe company in Jamaica. They said they have an EIC model. So excite. So which is kind of what you're talking about, the music and this and that, and then involve. So it's almost as though the person says, how is this part of my life? Why does it resonate with me? Why am I feeling it the way I'm feeling it? And then commit. So you're committed on this journey. So it's like you said, it's much more than just the music, but there's a whole package. Teachers talk about the hidden curriculum. I'm teaching you this, but I'm also teaching you things that you don't realize that are teaching you. Anybody ever tell you a song like Positive?
You're probably the 8th person who told me this within us, like a span of a few days. I was like, for real though? I mean, I know Positive, his music and stuff, but I don't hear it, but everybody else is saying that though.
And talking about that, there's a vocal quality. And the fact that both of you are gospel artists is also interesting to me. But even like looking at some of the titles, so not necessarily rock solid, but is give what, sorry?
Oh, so one is in our Trinidadian vernacular. It's called
Agogea.
Agogea. Yeah, Agogea. Right. You got it correct. Yes.
So, but where I'm from. But the interesting thing is that somebody might be looking through the discography and say, well, what's the song? Because it could be anything. It could be a zest. It could be a dancehall. It could be it sound like a just the name sound like a soca. So that might be the initial hook. And then you start with the music and then, okay. Yeah, so, and you say this starts many times from dreams, from something that's supernatural, natural rather. And how do you take that and put it into a form that you're able to share it with others? Is it an easy process? Is it like, nah, this wasn't just how I had it in the dream? And is it like lyrics or music as well, instrumentation? I know some people may go that far. Tell me a little bit about your process.
Right. So I believe all the music basically I'm inspired to by God. And what happens is, so when I get the music, whether if it's melodic lines first, whether if it's lyrical content first, what I usually do is record what it is that I got at that same time. And I also now go back in my mind how I felt, what was the feeling at that moment when that inspiration came. And from that particular standpoint, with checking up us, on top of like scriptural backing up, because just in case if I am not so knowledgeable about the topic at hand, I go back and reference to make sure that I'm topically, biblically sound, so that I could be able now to dissect. Then also understanding the musical composition. So for example, Agogea as a dancehall is a dancehall song. But understanding now where it was and where it was convicting me, I go back to that moment, start to dig into the dancehall aspect. So it's knowing how to now translate the message into the package of the genre, because each genre have a strong point and there are rules to the arena of the genre, you know? So it's understanding the musical aspect, marrying it with the lyrical content, and being able to package that with the same conviction so that it's relatable to the people. It doesn't come across warped, but it's within the same package. But when you open it like an envelope, you get this whole ton of nuggets that come out from it. So yeah, that's usually how I do my stuff.
And even the way that you're describing that is so visual that I can see it, so I appreciate that
Wow.
even more. But
I appreciate that,
looking,
man.
looking at and talking about the rules of each genre, of each and say guile that you're in as well.
Mm-hmm.
How do you manage the physical or money aspect of, I guess, being in the world but not being of the world,
Mm-hmm.
making sure that all boxes are checked to allow you
Yeah.
to continue to give the message, to share the message, even talking about things like merch. What is it? Is
Mm-hmm.
a team behind you to help
Mm-hmm.
promote? Or what does that look like?
Yeah, well, definitely I have a team behind me. People who I'm so thankful for, not only within our country, but outside internationally, who really saw the vision of what God placed for us to do here through the music. And they decided that I want to partner with this. I want to help with this, legally, merch wise, different business aspects. Um, and they just partner with me, and I actually have them as sounding boards for me to make sure that I stay on track. It's I always have a statement saying that surround yourself with people that don't feed your ego but build your character. You know what I mean? So that's a major thing for me. And also remembering, if it's the Lord, if it's Jesus who gave me these talents, these particular abilities, it'll be wrong of me now for somebody who saw the need to heal me, to be a bridge for people, to now for me now to take everything now that He has given me to go now and say, well, thanks for it. I'm gonna do what I want on this side. You know, because it's not just that he invested in me, but he saw that there's a possibility that with me being submitted and surrendered to his will, that I could be able now to reach people at their point of need, in their point of need. So that's like the main thing, and everything flows from that much, so that it looks good, it's business-like, and it also blesses the people. And I mean, if we had time, I could have tell you about the moments where we delivered stuff to people who were just crying, and I was like, in my mind, it's just much, but in their mind, we did something way more, you know. So that always keep the main thing, and everything else just flows from it.
And I'm really glad we were able to have this conversation. But I started off talking about nominations and awards, but we
Yeah,
didn't necessarily
yeah,
speak about them. But
yes,
so
yes.
so let's list out some of them now. In terms of
Okay.
2023 Antigua and Barbuda Gospel Music and Media Awards, Best Reggae for Rock Solid,
Yeah.
International Psalmist of the Year, Male
Mm.
Fortress, that's 2022.
Yeah.
International Artist of the Year, this is
Mm-hmm.
2022, 7th Annual S&M Gospel Indie Music Awards in North
Yeah.
Carolina. The
Mm-hmm.
2020 awards for four awards: Best Dancehall, Best Collaboration, Best Soca and Songwriter of the Year, Best
Mm-hmm.
Gospel Caribbean Produced Song, Agogea. This is also in 2020. This is Gospel Hip
Yeah.
Hop Awards in Atlanta. Nominations: Texas Gospel Music Excellence Awards, International Male Soloist of the Year. And I
Yeah.
flipping the paper now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
2023 Antigua and Barbuda Gospel Music and Media Awards, 2 nominations for Best Reggae and Best Soca.
Mm.
2023 Praise Factor Awards in Atlanta, USA, 6 nominations: Rhythm and Praise, Solo Artist of the Year, Alternative Solo Artist of the Year, International Solo Artist of the Year, Video of the Year, New Artist of the Year, Artist of the Year. and also Gospel Choice Music Awards. 3 nominations: International Male Artist of the Year, International Song of the Year, and Video Project of the Year. How
Yeah.
easy it is for your head to get fat going through and not have the main thing, the main thing.
It's very easy for you to get big-headed in this. It's very easy. Some people will be like, oh, all glory to God and stuff. Yes, you could palm it off like that. But if you really don't have your if you are not rooted within, it's easy to let these things totally, inflate your head with pride. And for me, knowing where I came from, knowing that it's not all my ability, that if I wasn't healed from the first place, I would not have been here to do this. um, it keeps me grounded. I realize that, what I believe, especially scripture says that um, we have this treasure in earthen vessels, so the excellency could be of God and not me. Is like every time I see it, I'm thankful to God for the opportunity to be used to do these things. Because I'm telling you, I haven't been to 90% of these places yet. And there are things coming up which you'll will definitely get to know of. But to know that the music went way above and created charts and was on #1 for weeks and internationally with this, it keeps me grounded to know that if it hadn't been for the Lord, I would have really, this one I even start, but I'm so thankful for those, for sure.
And even like that, if it wasn't for the Lord, this would not even start. I think that's a beautiful place to end. So we want to thank
Yeah.
you so much, Sterling Roberts, for the work that you are doing, the way that you're allowing yourself to be used as
Yeah.
an instrument and a vessel. And we
Yeah.
look forward for things to come. And on behalf of the
Mhm.
entire TTT News team, this has been In Depth with me, Dike Rostant. Thank you so much for joining us.
Residence is the
Cause my
father.
residence is the father.